hit him, great. If not, still a hell of a night. Keep it clean. Sorry, guys. Keep going, and keep going. Randall boys, everyone. Great car, great stop. Proud of all y'all. Go! It's the last lap, dog! Go!
And welcome back to the rain-delayed class case of emotion. I'm really excited that I didn't have to go in my yard for this one.
Yeah.
Because that would have been fun at all. So I'm luckily covered, and my service is good. So
that is
welcome
good.
Back, everybody.
Sturgill seems to be looking longingly.
Everyone else's.
Sturgill seems to be looking longingly outside, like he wants to.
Sturgill like the rain?
Yeah, he does like it. He wants to go outside.
Yeah, he does too.
In the rain, but then you have a wet dog. So
yeah, same here.
So he was at his boarding place this past weekend, and he gets a bath and a nail trim before he comes home. And I go pick him up yesterday morning, and he comes out soaking wet. I'm like, did you not dry him off? They're like, well, he had his bath and we dried him off, and then we let him outside and he jumped in the pool. So I'm like, okay. So they give me back him soaking wet, smelling just like wet dog. Like,
defeats the purpose.
Like, yeah, it defeats the purpose. I'm like, are you going to give me a refund or what the hell's going on? So, but they didn't. So he smells like wet dog. So I'm not giving him a bath myself.
Perfect.
So.
Wet dogs are the worst. My roommate has a dog, so I now have that thing coming around the house. It's a little dog.
Oh.
Yeah. Yeah.
A Pentable dog.
I think I hear it.
No,
that's the squeaker from.
Oh, that's Archie.
That's Archie.
Archie's squeaker. Okay.
Yeah, that dog isn't here right now. He, my roommate does some. He takes him to work with him. I think it's his. What are they called? Emotional support dogs or something.
Oh.
That's a whole other.
I didn't know you had a roommate.
Yeah. It's the drummer from the band. He moved in. He hit some COVID hard times and needed a place to stay, and I had a room, and he's paying a little bit of rent, and I'm making a little bit of money on the side, so that's a good thing,
Good for you.
Yeah.
That's good.
I've lived alone for 8 years, and going from zero roommate to roommate dog. Oh, and he's also got kids in the house. That's a whole lot. Like,
Wait, what?
yeah. He's going through a separation.
Fine,
so.
but you and I switched because I had a roommate for like 8 years, and then starting in February.
Yeah. I'm doing the reverse of that, and it's a process.
Oh. Well, you're getting dogs in the house, you get kids in the house. You're getting like the whole meal here,
right?
And seeing how you like it, I guess.
Well, I mean, it's like one of those things. It went from nothing to everything. It's a bit of an adjustment. Oh, we got a frozen Blaney.
That'll work. I'm good. You guys, I can see you great. So, am I still froze?
No, your picture's frozen, but your audio is coming in good. That's
great.
The beauty of this. The beauty.
Okay.
We'll call it rain.
We're gonna keep
you got you got the satellite stuff. You got the HughesNet, so they don't do well with rain and clouds. So satellites.
Well, I'm not on that.
Oh, you're not. Okay.
So I'm on my phone. I'm on my hotspot on my phone outside.
All right.
And so, but yeah, HughesNet. Even if it was the sunniest day ever, it wouldn't support Zoom. So
there's like one cloud that'll pass in front of the sun on the sunniest day, and it kills.
Oh
it.
yeah. I mean, even if there was no clouds, if there's a direct link to the satellite they have, it's not going to be enough. So it's funny. People were sending me tweets this weekend of like, they were like, should I do it? They had a mail from like HughesNet. I'm like, hell no, don't do it.
Don't do it.
Oh no.
Don't do it. Do something else. I don't know if you can do anything else, but do something else.
Yeah. Weather played a little bit of a issue down there in Florida, which is not shocking. It's Florida in the summer. Like, did you see the water spout that was over the water? Like one of the cameras caught it, and then we did a little time lapse thing. Strickland and I did in the office. You see that little thing curl over. That was kind of a unique addition.
Yeah, it was weird. Yeah, we saw it. It was off of like turn 3 or something before, and It was wild, man. I didn't know what it was for a second. And then we were like, oh, I thought it was like a start of a tornado out there. But I guess they call it a water spigot, right?
Water spout.
Water spout.
Yeah.
All right.
Spout,
Spider. Okay.
Same thing.
Yeah.
So that's just like a vortex taking water from.
I'm
I'm here.
I just saw Kim's foot, like it's like, is she doing yoga in the middle of the podcast?
Sucking water up from the ocean.
Roll the ball under the couch.
But yeah, the water spout and then the lightning, we had some delays, but then when we got to racing, it was a good.
No, yeah, Homestead, it barely rained. I mean, it rained in 3 and 4, like right at the start of the race before we even got in the cars, and they dried that out right away. And then it didn't rain a drop after that, but we had all these delays for lightning and things like that, and that stunk. But you gotta be safe. I understand that deal, but it stinks. One lightning strike within 8 miles, and you got to sit for 30 minutes, and that clock restarts every single time there's another strike. Yep. So, that kind of stinks. Hate it for the fans too that were sitting around there for a while, all 1,000 of them. But yeah, once we finally got back going there, we were able to run the whole race through. So, and it was an exciting race, man. I had fun. It was fun.
Yeah. So race the 12.
Yeah, we not bad. We raced the same cars all night. It was like the 12, the 11, the 9, and the 8. Like all night, we raced around each other, and so unfortunately, we were the third of the 4 cars to finish.
Can we talk about what Reddick did? Did he think that the race had ended and it was still
yes, he did.
a lap to go?
He did. If you listen to his radio, he starts thanking everybody on the radio, like, dude, there's still a lap to go. Like, go. So
yeah. I saw that yesterday, and I didn't know what happened to him because him and Chase were like right on top of each other in the last 3 laps, and I was looking in my mirror and I looked up off the floor, and he was like, I don't know, 5 or 10 back. And I looked back on the backstretch, and he was gone. I was like, what happened to him? And then I thought he hit the fence or something hard and like slowed way down. But yeah, I laughed pretty hard at the audio. His spotter and crew chief were like, what are you doing? Just yelling at him. He's trying to thank everybody.
And
that thanks, guys. Did a great job. He was like, what the hell are you doing? Go.
That may or may not be the audio that we play off the top, because that.
Is that easy to do as a driver though? Like forget what lap you're on?
I've never done it. I mean, there's been instances. I mean, Mark Martin did it back in the day.
Yeah.
He pulled off the racetrack leading.
Yeah.
And lost the race. But yeah, it's definitely been done before. But because the spotter was like, all right, white flag here, and he just.
I think he had dad brain.
I don't know. Just had a little brain fart.
Yeah.
It happens. So.
Well,
it
was pretty funny, but he still
was good.
He still had a good run. That was a good run for that rookie.
No, he did good all night. I mean, he runs really good there.
Yeah.
He's won the last 2 Xfinity races there, and last couple of years, and he ran really good last night. So I figured I knew he was going to be pretty good there.
Of the 4 races in 2 days that we had, like I thought all of them were exciting to watch personally. The Xfinity races, those composite bodies on the Xfinity cars, like the fact that they're able to hit the wall and keep going and it doesn't affect them as much. Like it, to me, that Xfinity race reminded me a little bit of Darlington. Like everybody was trying to get the Homestead stripe, like just rush it a little bit. And then if they, so it was fun to watch those. And then you got late race cautions in those. And then the Cup race, you still had that same strategy going on. It's just you got in a little bit more trouble if you got into the wall.
Last thing, unless you hit the wall really hard, you saw a couple guys hit the wall hard and cut tires down in the Xfinity race, which that'll happen. But you can hit them things pretty decent and keep digging it. But if Cup cars are so sensitive on that stuff, all the flares and the steel bodies and stuff, it'll really hurt your night if you hit it, at all. Really, I hit it.
Yeah.
And lucky to be able to kind of halfway fix it and be still pretty good. But those things, man, you almost could get spoiled in them cars, like running up by the wall. Like it's no big deal if you hit it. I can see you get spoiled in that stuff, like going from Xfinity to Cup racing, because it's just 2 different things. You can hit the wall and it doesn't hurt you really that bad.
It was a good weekend of racing action at Homestead Miami Speedway, but that wasn't the. We also had races at Miami, or not Miami. We were in Miami.
Like we just talked about them.
I know. I was switching to Martinsville, but I looked a little too high on my little rundown sheet and read. I saw the M and didn't really process the brain thing. I had a brain fart like Tyler. Anyway, Martinsville midweek racing.
Yeah, and under lights.
We've had Martinsville races for no under lights before, but this was under lights. They called it, and that was a good show. Yeah, there was a lot of comers and goers at Martinsville. We were definitely a goer in the beginning, and we were coming at the end. So, which is always a good way to finish.
Yeah, you definitely want to. So you want to be coming on strong at the end. That's definitely the way to go on that.
That's good.
Yeah,
it's good. But no, it was exciting. Yeah, I thought the Martinsville race was pretty good. So, but now we have a whole week before Talladega. So,
well, you got to mentally prepare for Talladega, right?
Yeah, with new rules package, and you know what Talladega is. So,
fans.
Good. I know we're having more fans there. There's going to be 5,000 fans, which is good. So, just keep piling them in as hopefully things start to keep getting better, healing.
Which the other thing.
Frozen?
No, you're good right now. We're
good.
Yeah. Okay. I was to say the other thing about Talladega is so big you can space people out a lot better. So that'll be a good race. We also had some news the night of the Martinsville race. NASCAR announced that they would be banning the Confederate flag, which angered some fans, but also welcomed in a whole, we got on social media all these people saying, well, I'm going to watch a NASCAR race now. And we got new fans watching at Martinsville and then at Homestead. I mean, ratings were up.
That's good. The Confederate flag deal, I got asked it after Atlanta, or I got asked a question about it after Atlanta and then after Martinsville, after they put it out there. And, I think the biggest thing about that stuff is about that flag is it makes a lot of people feel uncomfortable. A lot of people look at it as hatred, to where some people don't look at it that way. And I guess that's just kind of where you're from. But but most people look at it in a bad way. And, the last thing you want for fans, especially new fans that want to come to the racetrack, is to feel uncomfortable to see that flag. So I think it was a good move from NASCAR. I just don't want people to feel uncomfortable going to the racetrack. And I think that flag did. And I hope people will, be happy with that. It seemed to be getting, you have your good and bad, but I think a lot of people have been relieved that that's happened, which is good.
Well, and I think
Brian McGee had a really good article. Yeah. If anybody still has an argument for that flag, I encourage you to go read Ryan's article. He did some good interviews too about how that flag lost its glory a long time ago.
And his article really kind of, for me, hit the nail on the head because he's from North Carolina. I'm from North Carolina. And it was weird that he put that article out when he did, because I had gone down the ancestry rabbit hole, and I was all that stuff was marinating in my head about, all right, my ancestors did this, and this. I had an ancestor that ran an armory in Columbus, Georgia during the war, profiting off of the war. His son, left home at 14 to go volunteer to fight. That same son, who was my great-great-grandfather, I think, who his last name is my mom's maiden name, and it is the name that we call my nephew. That man, after the war, joined the Klan. And that's a part of my history. And the way McGee wrote that and listed out, when I go to the racetrack and I see that flag, I've seen it more in northern states than I have in southern states. I've seen it in Michigan and upstate New York more than I have in Alabama, South Carolina, or North Carolina. And that offends me, one, because it's not that McGee worded it well. It's I know the history of that flag. I know the people that fought for that flag. And I'm not proud of what they did. There was no Battle of Darlington. There was no Battle of Talladega. That flag doesn't belong there. That flag belongs in a museum, and it belongs in a place where we can talk about it, and we can talk about the good of the history and the bad of the history, because the good and the bad is what makes us who we are, and you have to look at that. You have to know where you came from to know where you're going.
Exactly.
So.
Yeah, a lot of people were saying we're trying to erase history. That is not the case. If you want to go see the flag, you can open a history book or you can go to a history museum and admire it there if that's you're so choosing.
It has a place, and that place is in a museum and on a battlefield. And the good thing that has come out of all of this is we've had a lot of people. Alvin Kamara was at the track in Miami. We've had athletes from other sports that have been, saying, hey, I want to learn more about NASCAR now. And that has been the fact that we're now in a place where people want to come watch more NASCAR is an amazing thing.
Yeah. I think, the reason why that is just, people are starting to feel more comfortable, if NASCAR is showing initiative of progressing with times, for sure. And that's good. It's opening up to new people who are maybe hesitant about it first, and whether it's other athletes, just other people.
I mean, hell, LeBron James was tweeting about NASCAR.
Yeah, I texted Bubba when I saw that on the way to Martinsville. I'm like, dude, that's all being from Ohio. And I was really jealous that he tweeted Bubba. I was like, man, if you ever get to meet him, I'd be like your plus one. I'd love to. A childhood hero. But no, that's great. I mean, it's just opening NASCAR up, so it's good. We got to keep going in that direction, for sure.
Well,
we're not trying to kick fans out who have been fans of NASCAR for a long time. We're just trying to be more
welcoming,
open to everybody, right?
Yeah.
I mean, we were open to everybody before, but just trying to make everyone feel comfortable and things like that. I think that's a good direction.
I was going to transition it to the NASCAR, frequently asked questions or 101 stuff that with all of the new fans that are starting to watch, saw it on Twitter during both Martinsville and Homestead. Fans were asking questions about what was going on during the race. What are stages? What is this? Like, what are some, if you got a new fan coming in, what are some things that they should know coming into the sport so they can watch it and enjoy the race? How do you pick your driver? That was a big question that I saw. I was like, who do you pick to cheer for? Obviously, our answer would be Ryan Blaney, just because, this is the show.
We have a totally awesome podcast. I mean, come on.
Yeah. What else do you need?
How do you pick your driver? I mean, I would like to know. I don't know. That's something I don't really know as personal preference, right? I mean, you like, if you're new to NASCAR and maybe you don't know anything about any of the drivers, how do you pick your driver? Okay, maybe you like a certain number they run. Do you think their car is pretty? Maybe you've seen a photo of them and you like, I don't know. It's hard to kind of, I guess that's tough to try to find your favorite, right off the bat.
Yeah.
Like if I've never watched a squash match in my life. This person, people are playing, and I don't know I don't know what the hell to talk about. I don't know how you pick your favorite driver. People ask me all the time, they're like, why should I be a fan of yours? I'm like, I don't know.
Cool?
Yeah, be a fan of me because I'm cool and you're cool. We're both cool. We can be cool together. Another question.
That wasn't the best answer to that question. I don't know.
I feel like we should ask a NASCAR fan why they.
You guys aren't helping me at all. You guys just.
You said you just pick Ryan Blaney. It's easy. You don't even need to look at the rest of the field.
There we go. Leave it at that. Boom.
Boom,
Next
shakalaka.
Question.
Next question. What are the different levels of racing? Obviously, we know about Cup, Xfinity, trucks. You've got K&N, you've got ARCA, you've got IMSA. You've got all these things that are under the NASCAR umbrella. So how do the different levels of racing work, and how does one get to the Cup level?
So a lot of people start in these things called go-karts or quarter midgets, which are very small cars. Small motors, and you can start running them at 5 years old. And really, as you get older, you can move up to different cars. Like I went quarter midgets, bandoleros when I was 10 or 11. Did these legend cars, which are old 30s looking coupes. And then I did asphalt late models when I was 13 or 14, which are your first full size race car. Then you kind of get to the NASCAR series, I think of K&N, which is your first ones that you run on, like the big tracks, like the big mile and a halves. First time you really run on NASCAR tracks. Then Trucks Xfinity Cup. So there's a lot of levels outside of NASCAR that you kind of have to do to work your way up, but there's no really direct route. You can kind of do whatever you want. So
just kind of make it up as you go.
You guys not going to add anything.
Kim, you got anything to add?
Well, it's kind of like minor league sports.
You guys got nothing to add? You just going to let me just do that?
We were enjoying the max headroom aspect of it.
Yeah. So like minor league baseball, there's like AAA baseball, AA. It's kind of like when you look at like at least the top 3 touring series, it's kind of like that, in my opinion. So like some people may not be familiar with the other like ARCA and K&N, some of the lower tiers. Those are kind of I wouldn't call it grassroots, but like get your feet wet. But then the big 3 series of the top touring series are kind of like your major leagues, your minor leagues. Talking truck and Xfinity, because ultimately the goal is to get to Cup.
Yeah,
I think.
Well, but you've got.
Unless you just are cool where you are, because you have the Johnny Souders and the Matt Craftons of the world that just like to ride.
Well, in the trucks, I mean, it's a different. Like, I feel like there's a different. Yes, you can get behind the wheel of anything, but like some folks might be better at driving the truck and the aerodynamics of a truck as opposed to. Car. And I just got the Z, we're boring people. The Z's that we're boring people. I got one other question. The big question that I saw, and I know we've asked it before and we've answered it before, but what happens, Ryan, when you feel the need to go to the bathroom? And he's doing it right now. He's just freezing.
He's concentrating very hard.
And thank you.
Different people will tell you different things. Yeah, concentrating. Different people will tell you different things. I make sure that but I have heard about some people who just do it.
Yeah.
And I've never done it before. I've never pissed myself, and I don't plan on it. So I take care of that before the race, but sometimes you got to go, man.
Well, it's interesting to see, like, right before everybody gets in the car, there's a mad dash to the Porta-Johns that are along pit road. Yeah,
I can't tell you the number of times I've had to divert MRN pre-race interview because the driver I was bird dogging hopped into the porta potty.
Bird dogging? Turtle heading? You saying the driver's going in there to pop a squat or just?
No, like when I'm looking for a driver.
Oh, okay. Yes. Yeah. I thought you meant you were saying that the driver was turtle heading. They had to get to the Porta-John before they got in the car.
No.
But yeah, it is a mad dash to the restroom before the race, just because you wait till the last second. But honestly, you sweat out during the race.
So your answer is you generally sweat it out because you're finally to athletes that are have high elevated heart rates, and that causes a lot of sweat, and it's hot, so you're going to sweat it all out. So is that what you were?
I said you sweat most of it out during the race.
Yeah. Well,
nothing. Okay.
We kind of heard you a little bit. What I was going to say was fans.
So this actually, okay, I can't say anything else because you can't hear me.
We can hear you. It's just it like delays and it does like the old like.
Trying to say. Yes.
It makes it sound really slow and long.
Okay, this.
I think he's behind. Like I think we're behind where he is. We're hearing him in the past.
This actually makes me feel better if you guys can hear me. This makes me feel better because I gave like a long, intricate answer to the levels of NASCAR to get it out, and you guys didn't say a fucking word for like 2 minutes. So I was like, either they're being dicks, or I didn't explain it good, or my connection's bad. So I was curious about that.
It was the connection. The connection killed this segment. Yeah. We're going to go with that. It was the connection. But fans, if you have like questions that you want to know, tweet us. Like send a tweet. Hashtag GCOE.
It'll be sunshine so we can have it answered.
Yeah. We'll get your answers. They'll be typed out in Morse code. Blaney that's how we're going to do the podcast next week. It'll be and then we'll translate it.
Remember I smashed my finger?
Oh.
Remember me telling you that?
Yeah.
And I had tweeted about it. All these people, which I never did it, told me that I needed to
drill a hole.
take either a drill or a hot needle and puncture the nail to relieve the pressure so all that blood comes out, and I still haven't done it.
Does it hurt?
Some people said it hurt.
No, I mean,
I'm not doing that.
no. Does your hand? Yeah.
It did the first day. For the first day, it like throbbed for 8 hours.
Just paint your nails and you'll be fine.
That's fine.
Yeah. Nobody will see it.
I'm wondering though if the nail's gonna fall off once the like blood part grows out.
No, I've done that before, and it just works its way. Like that little dot will end up here, and then it'll just slowly grow away. It'll grow away as it goes away.
But the blood will be dried, I take it?
Yes. Oh yeah. It's not gonna be like when you're not gonna get like blood oozing out as your nail grows. Like you're not gonna one day wake up and just have a bloody hand. It's dried blood at this point. I think they were saying like when it initially happens,
it's blue blood at this point.
You know, blue blood. Yeah.
Blue blood.
NASCAR announced some other news this week. We announced one. There's two things that we're going to talk about here. You got the All-Star race going to Bristol. That was announced yesterday. And then Monday.
Well, yesterday's yesterday.
Yesterday's yesterday, but today's today, which is Hall of Fame, and then this releases tomorrow, which is Wednesday. So today, when this releases, the Hall of Fame will have been announced, and the Hall of Fame class.
And we know who's in it.
So, a little drum roll. The 2021 NASCAR
I'm shaking my camera as the drum roll.
Hall of Fame class for 2021 is Dale Earnhardt Jr., Mike Stefanik, Red Farmer, and the Landmark Award winner is Ralphie Graves. This is the first year that we've done gone down to 3 inductees and then the Landmark Award winner.
Which I think is how it should be.
Yeah. Obviously,
a little more exclusive.
Dale Jr., I think it goes without saying, he was the most popular driver for a number of years. He's redneck Jesus. No brainer. Dale Jr. in. Then you got Mike Stefanik. How many times was he a champion? I want to say multiple. 7 or 8. Like it's up there.
I thought he was 7.
Like at least half a dozen, I thought.
Yeah. And then of course Red Farmer, who is still racing to this day. I mean,
crazy. He still has a hero card. We were at Talladega like a year or two ago, and he was racing something, and Postman went out to watch him and got a signed hero card of Red Farmer. Mm-hmm. What the what?
We interviewed him for the Neil Bonnet feature last year, and he's still wearing his Red Farmer racing shirt. He was going to work on his car later on that day, and I mean, it's amazing to me that he's one of the original Alabama gang members, and he's still racing.
Alabama gang members.
One of the original members of the Alabama gang.
There you go.
Yeah.
There you go.
Yeah, got to get yeah. Mike Stefanik, where's his championships? I'm pulling it up. I'm looking up Racing Reference right now.
How old is he again? How old is he?
Who, Mike Stefanik?
No.
Oh, Red Farmer?
Sorry, Red Farmer.
Yeah. Red Farmer is 90?
No, I thought he was 80s.
He's getting close. It is.
90s, not that.
No, Red Farmer is 92 years old. He was born in 1928.
Stop.
I knew he was in his 90s and he was running. Yeah.
That's crazy.
Yeah. But he doesn't. When we interview him, he doesn't act like a 92-year-old.
He has all of his faculties.
Yeah. I mean, he was. It was a good interview. Good interview. I'm telling you, it was fun. And then, of course, Ralphie Graves, you have him as well, who was an...
Who's that guy, Dale Jr., that you mentioned? What did he do?
I think he was, a former car mechanic, maybe? He was a mechanic? Changed oil, maybe?
He worked at the tire shop.
Yeah, tire guy.
Tire shop, yeah. Yeah, I've heard of him a little bit, but I didn't think he was... I didn't,
Didn't know if he was that good to get in the Hall of Fame.
Yeah.
First ballot,
I didn't think so either. But,
first ballot Hall of Fame.
First ballot Hall of Fame.
Yeah.
Yeah. But it's a good class.
Yeah. What's your take on the class there, Ryan?
I like it. I like how they, went to 3 and then the landmark award. I like the class. I mean, all those guys done a lot for the sport. And I think it's a good class. I'm excited to hopefully I can go. I was able to go last year to the induction ceremony, which was really cool. And we were actually able to, I believe it was last year, it might have been the year before, when Roger got in. Me, Joe, and Brad were able to introduce him, which was really cool. So I think it was 2 years ago. I know.
I wonder who Dale's intro person will be.
Too bad
Roy
his.
Kendrick.
That could, yeah.
That's crazy. I said that like 10 seconds ago, and I just heard it come through.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like there's. This is going to be like the editing on this show is going to be like, because I can hear you go, and then it catches
draws
up.
it out though, so it makes it sound like you're talking really slow as opposed to like a straight delay.
Yeah.
So instead of like you say something and then 10 seconds later we hear it, it's like, ooh.
It's like, so you're saying that Dale Earnhardt Jr. will be in the Hall of Fame.
So
Now I just think
you're telling me I need to talk really fast like this.
yes, you need to talk really fast like that.
Did that sound normal?
Yeah. Yeah.
So you're telling me there's a chance.
Talk like the Micro Machines guy for the whole show, and it'll be great. Mike Stefanik, 7 Whelen Modified Tour championships and 2 Busch North Series championships.
Yes, I just really fast. So we're going to do the All-Star race at Bristol here, and
That was better.
That was good. Yeah, All-Star race at Bristol. Go. You bring it up, and I thought you had a thing that you're going to say on it. Now, All-Star race is moving to Bristol.
what if I talk really slow like this?
Slower is actually better.
You got to go slow to go fast.
Oh, yeah.
I wish you could see my dog. All right, we're going to Bristol, and it might be time to wrap this up, or you guys can finish the show because this is obviously not working.
Of course, right when you said that, it started to work.
Yeah, and there's Sturgill.
Oh, Sturgill.
Kim, thoughts on Bristol?
He looks bigger.
He's closer to the camera.
I know. Bristol. Racing in a
You
blender.
say that every time.
I haven't seen him in real life in a while, and so he looks. Maybe it's the camera.
The camera adds 10 pounds, so.
I mean, his head is almost bigger than mine.
Yeah.
So he might be is my connection better now?
He's helping.
He might be helping it.
He's conducting the Wi-Fi signal.
Yeah, that's why I got him.
Yeah.
Antennas.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Good job, Sturgill. Good job. Who's a good boy?
That's a good boy.
He tries to bite my nose for some reason.
Oh,
We also got testing out some paint schemes at Bristol too. Any thoughts on the paint schemes?
with the numbers.
With the number moving?
It doesn't bother me. I know people are like all up in arms about it, but I don't hate it.
I got no real opinion either way on them. Like, I mean,
Cars still the same. I don't know that much lead paint. If there's still lead in the paint at that end of the race car is going to change any of the balance.
To me,
racing's not going to change.
You could paint the car however you wanted to paint it, as long as the action on the track was good and the action on the track was like the Bristol race earlier this year. I'm cool with it. Like, you could put the numbers on the bottom of the car for all I care. It would be bad for spotters. Like, they would not be able to see, where the car is if the numbers were on the bottom.
Yeah.
Sturgill left, so I think that's he lost his conductor. Hang on, I think you're back.
Doubtful.
Yeah, I mean, you hear me, I hear you, right?
I can see you moving now. You were like frozen for a while.
So before we wrap up the show, Ryan, I know you and your dad did a thing with Advanced Auto Parts. Give us a little bit of background on that. I think it was like a garage makeover type thing.
Well, it was a couple weeks ago. We did all these videos for Advanced Auto Parts for Father's Day. They're putting a big initiative behind, their official sponsor of the home tracks right now, which is huge. But yeah, they're doing a great promotion where you can win a complete garage makeover. So go to my Twitter. I just put something out there yesterday of how you can enter to win. But yes, it's really something for Father's Day, and there's a lot of cool and told a bunch of stories and kind of like memories of their dads, whether it's working on a car. And I actually learned some new things about my dad too, given to you by Advanced Auto Parts, which is definitely very cool.
Dave.
Nice. And I think you said fans can go to your Twitter, and you put out something yesterday that shows how they can enter and all that. Is that correct?
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. I put a link in there, and I've been putting out videos like every 2 days and just kind of keeping it going. So, yeah.
It's pretty cool.
It'd be pretty cool.
Father's Day is coming up. I have to imagine that since we're on this podcast, Kim and I are not eligible to enter. Because I could definitely go for a garage makeover. But
I 100% could. My garage is basically right now like a glorified carport. It needs a makeover.
What are some of the moments that you shared with your dad? Like, if you had to pick one moment with your dad, Ryan, in the garage, what's the one that stands out? What was one of the coolest moments that you guys shared in one of those videos?
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of them from him when I was late model racing, or really when I started racing. He was running Cup Series, so he would try to make it to as many of mine as he could while still doing his own thing on the weekends. So that was neat, the commitment he had back and forth. And then we talked about, kind of how our family got racing, his dad and Dale, his brother, and then kind of down to me, and got started on, talking about how Dad got started. Dad didn't get started till he was 18. He was playing basketball all through high school and things like that, and just didn't race until he jumped in at 18 and started running his dad's sprint cars. And so that was that's something that's a little bit different from the norm. Nowadays you got people starting
Almost
Well,
it just picked up right in here, so that kind of makes sense.
Yeah. Whether it's in the garage, on the track, or at home, making memories with family is helping us through these uncertain times. And this Father's Day, Advanced Auto Parts wants you to share your special auto DIY moment with Dad for a chance to win the ultimate home garage makeover. To enter the Advanced Auto Parts Garage Moments contest, just visit advancedautoparts.com and share a favorite garage moment with the father figure in your life. Be sure to include a photo or video. You have until this Father's Day, June 21st at 11:59 p.m. Eastern Time to submit your entry. No purchase necessary. Official rules can be found at advancedautoparts.com. Solid right there. Right there. Little Advanced Auto Parts love. I can't believe I got through that without really messing it up, which was interesting.
Great timing, because on my computer it says your network bandwidth is low. So I'm probably going to run out of data on my phone.
Well, what I'm going to do is I'm going to hit the music, and we're going to get out of here, because this show is going to take a lot of massaging and editing today. But there's good stuff in there. And the rain and the internet, I think, played hell with Blaney's connection today.
The rain
I think just without any rain, it's still shitty. So we're going to figure something out.
You're better now. I had to use my heaters today in the car, my seat heaters.
Butt warmers?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like 50-something degrees this morning.
It was chilly. We got about a minute left. So remember, fans, go to advancedautoparts.com. Check out that contest. Also, subscribe in iTunes, Spotify, wherever you find your favorite podcast that you listen to. Rate and review. Comment on YouTube if there's comments this week. I don't know.
There should be, I think.
Yeah. I don't know.
I don't know. Yeah, maybe not.
Yeah.
Negative on those. So, side has spoken.
Also, if you're new to NASCAR, let us know on Twitter what you want to know about the sport, and we'll answer that question.
Sounds bueno. Thank you guys for listening, for what you could hear on my end.
I mean, They could hear you. It's going to sound a lot better than you think.
Chuck is going to be a master editor.
Yeah. There might be some inflection changes, like it might go from, and then this happened today. But, you know, it's just part of the thing. I'm getting the thought out there. So.
iRobot.
Yeah. Blaney bot.
Yeah. That's right. Bye, everybody.